there, English learners. Welcome back to Clip Your English. I'm Rachel, and I'm absolutely thrilled you decided to join me today.
And I'm Jake. We've got something really special planned for you today.
That's right. We're diving into 75 essential English phrases that you'll use, well, pretty much every single day. These aren't your typical textbook phrases. We're talking about the real stuff people actually say.
By the end of this episode, you'll sound way more natural in your everyday conversations. Trust me, your English is about to level up big time.
And here's the thing. I bet you've been overthinking some of these phrases. We're going to show you how native speakers really use them, and you might be surprised by how simple it actually is.
So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's jump right in.
All right, Jake, let's start with the morning. You know, those first few hours when we're all, well, not exactly at our best.
Haha, speak for yourself. I'm a morning person.
Sure you are. So what's the first thing you usually say when you wake up?
Honestly? Already?
See, that's so real. Most people don't wake up saying, "Good morning, what a beautiful day." We're more like, 5 more minutes, please.
Exactly. Or, I can't believe it's morning already. That's a big one.
Oh, and what about when you're getting ready? I always say, "Where did I put my keys?" Even though they're in the same place every day.
Or, I have nothing to wear while staring at a full closet.
Right? And then there's the classic, "I'm running late," even when you're actually on time.
Speaking of time, what about "I'll be ready in 5 minutes"?
Which really means 15 minutes, let's be honest.
At least. And then when you're finally leaving, did I forget anything?
Or do I have everything? It's like a daily ritual.
What about breakfast phrases? "I'll grab something on the way" is pretty common.
Oh yeah, or "I don't have time for breakfast," which, by the way, you should always make time for breakfast.
True. And then there's "I need my coffee." That's basically a survival phrase.
Can't function without it. Or just one more cup when you've already had 3.
All right. So we've made it out of the house. Now we're at work or school. Rachel, what's the first thing people usually say?
How's it going? That's the universal greeting, right?
Yeah, and the automatic response is usually "not bad" or "can't complain."
Even when you totally could complain. It's like social autopilot.
Exactly. Or same old, when someone asks how things are.
Ooh, and what about long time no see when you run into someone you haven't seen in a while?
That's a good one. Or small world when you bump into someone unexpected.
At work, there's always "let me get back to you on that" when you need more time to think.
Or "I'll look into it," which is the polite way of saying "I have no idea right now."
And that's a good question when you're buying time to come up with an answer.
What about "I'm swamped" when you're really busy?
Oh, that's essential. Or "I'm up to my ears in work." Same meaning, different image.
And then there's "I'm calling it a day" when you're done with work.
Or "I'm calling it quits," though that sounds more dramatic.
At school, students are always saying "I totally forgot about assignments."
Or "it slipped my mind." Sounds a bit more polite than "I forgot."
What about "I'm drawing a blank" when you can't remember something during a test?
That's perfect. It's so much better than just saying "I don't know." Now, let's talk about social situations. You know, when you're just hanging out with people.
Small talk is huge. Like, "nice weather we're having" is classic.
Even when the weather is terrible. Or "can you believe this weather?"
Right? Weather is like the safe topic. What about "how about them Yankees" for sports talk?
Well, that's pretty American, but yeah, "did you catch the game?" works anywhere.
And there's always "what's new" or "what's up."
Though what's up usually doesn't expect a real answer. It's more like, hello.
True. The response is usually just not much or just hanging out.
What about when you're introducing people? I'd like you to meet sounds so formal.
Yeah, most people just say, this is my friend Jake, or have you met Rachel?
And then the polite response is, nice to meet you, or pleasure to meet you.
Though, honestly, most people just say, hey or hi there.
When you're leaving, there's, I should get going, or I'd better head out.
Or, I don't want to keep you. That's a polite way to end a conversation.
What about let's keep in touch when you're saying goodbye to someone?
That's nice. Though, let's be real. How often does that actually happen?
Not often. It's more like, let's definitely hang out soon, with no specific plans.
Okay, let's move on to shopping and running errands. That's where you hear some interesting phrases.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm just browsing when the salesperson asks if you need help.
Or, I'm just looking around. Same idea, different words.
And then when you actually do need help, excuse me, where can I find?
What about, is this on sale? Everyone's favorite question.
Or do you have this in a different size when shopping for clothes?
And the classic, I'll think about it, when you're not ready to buy.
Which usually means I'm not gonna buy it, but I'm being polite.
Exactly. Or, I'll be back, though you probably won't be.
At the grocery store, there's always paper or plastic.
Though that's more the cashier asking. Customers usually say, I forgot my list, or I need to pick up a few things.
And then you leave with 20 items instead of 3.
Every time. What about, do you have a rewards card?
Oh, yeah. And then I always forget to bring it, or I think I have one somewhere.
When you're at the bank or post office, I'd like to make a deposit, or I need to mail this.
Those are pretty straightforward. Oh, but what about what's the best way to get to when you're asking for directions?
Good one. Or, am I going the right way when you're already lost?
All right. Let's wrap up with evening and weekend phrases. You know, the fun stuff.
What do you feel like doing? That's the eternal weekend question.
Usually followed by, I don't know, what do you want to do?
And then nobody decides anything. Or, I'm up for whatever.
Which is helpful, not at all. What about let's order takeout when you don't want to cook?
Classic. Or, I don't feel like cooking tonight.
And then there's what sounds good when you're deciding what to order.
Followed by 20 minutes of I don't care, you choose.
So true. What about I'm beat when you're tired at the end of the day?
Or, I'm exhausted. Though, that sounds more dramatic.
I could use a break is another good one.
When you're watching TV, what's on? Or anything good on?
And then you spend more time scrolling through channels than actually watching.
Or, I've seen this before about every movie that comes on.
What about I should probably go to bed when it's getting late?
But then you stay up for another hour scrolling your phone.
Every night. Or just one more episode when you're binge watching something.
Which turns into 3 more episodes.
Before we finish, let's cover some phrases for expressing how you feel. These are super important for natural conversation.
Right, like, I'm not in the mood when you don't want to do something.
Or I'm not feeling it. Same meaning, more casual.
What about, I'm so over this when you're frustrated?
That's perfect. Or I've had enough when you reach your limit.
For positive feelings, I'm so excited, or I can't wait.
And I'm looking forward to it. That's a bit more formal, but still natural.
When something surprises you, no way, or you're kidding.
Or, seriously? I use that one all the time.
What about that's amazing or that's awesome for good news?
And for bad news, that's terrible or that sucks, though the second one is more casual.
When you're unsure about something, I'm not sure or I have no idea.
Or your guess is as good as mine. That's a fun way to say you don't know.
And when you finally understand something, Oh, I see, or that makes sense.
Or just, that moment when everything clicks.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground today. From waking up grumpy to staying up too late watching TV.
Right? These 75 phrases are like the soundtrack of daily life in English. And the best part is, you don't have to memorize them all at once.
Exactly. Just pick a few that feel natural to you and start using them. You'll be surprised how quickly they become automatic.
I'm curious, which category was most helpful for you? The morning phrases, work phrases, or maybe the social ones? Drop a comment and let us know.
And here's a little challenge. Try using 3 of these phrases tomorrow and see how it feels. I bet your conversations will sound more natural right away.
If this episode helped you out, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more real English conversations every week. We're always cooking up something new for you guys.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. Until next time, keep practicing, keep improving, and remember,
English is a journey, not a destination.
see you in the next episode.
Bye for now.